And Christ said, remember Lot's wife. If you care for your soul, you'd better remember Lot's wife. She was not a homosexual, but she was a sodomite, born in Sodom, family background in Sodom, where the custom of the place was to accept homosexuality as merely an innocent alternate lifestyle, rather than the soul-damning, life-destroying, nation-dooming sin God Almighty declares it to be. Lot's wife simply could not accept the idea that God would actually destroy an entire nation for simply being tolerant of an innocent alternate lifestyle. That's her thinking. Her relatives, friends, and neighbors were practicing fags and dykes. She knew them well. She liked them. She looked back.
Hey y'all, I need some help. Everyone's getting more and more worried about my husband, and I just don't know what the fuck to do, okay? I call him my husband because in my eyes, that's exactly what he is. But the law begs to differ, and while we had a ceremony earlier this year, Australia still won't legally acknowledge our love simply because we're both men. I mean, it's fucking bullshit. Not only because I can't legally call him my husband, but we also can't adopt children, handle each other's medical and financial decisions, or automatically be each other's next of kin. But I proposed, and rather than wait, we decided to get married now. It was around the time of our wedding that I first started to notice that my husband was struggling. I mean, he was excited, of course, and we were eagerly planning our big day, but every time we looked through the guest list, he would just withdraw. The wedding was to be quite small and intimate with just family and close friends, but as the RSVPs trickled in, I began to notice that my husband's family hadn't replied. Now, at first, I didn't think too much of it. You know, they lived interstate, and so I assumed the invitation was still in the mail. Australia Post is notoriously slow, okay? But when the RSVP date came and went, and they still hadn't replied, I brought it up to my husband. He broke down in my arms and admitted that his family had replied, but he'd hidden them from me. When he showed me the letters, I understood why. Each member of his family had sent a letter. From his 98-year-old great-grandma to his 7-year-old nephew, they had each handwritten a letter. Some were addressed solely to my husband, others to both of us. But each and every single one expressed 3 main points. Firstly, they weren't coming. Secondly, should my husband choose to leave this immoral lifestyle, that they would welcome him back. And thirdly, that I would burn in hell. Now look, I'm not fucking stupid, okay? I knew there were people like that out there, but I'd never had their hatred directed at me on a personal level. Tears sprang to my eyes, and my husband quickly gathered the letters up again, shoving them back in the box he pulled them from. He refused to talk about that shit after that, okay? And every time I tried to bring it up, he simply shut down. Our wedding, it came and went. My husband looked absolutely beautiful. And even though I'm sure he wished his family could have been there to support him, not even that could wipe that smile off his face, man. We exchanged rings and even signed official marriage papers so that when Australia finally caught up to the rest of the world, we could lodge them straight away. It was when we got back from our honeymoon that things really went downhill. I was working almost nonstop, between my regular shifts and making up for all the on-call shifts I had to switch out in order to go away. It was probably because of this that it took me longer than I cared to admit that my husband wasn't okay. By that time, he had spiraled into a deep depression, but I convinced myself that I could help him. He had always hated doctors, and I'm still not sure why he even married one, so I knew there was no way he would go and speak to a psychiatrist. I tried to get him to talk to me, but he insisted nothing was wrong, and so I dropped it. I did my best to distract him and cheer him up, hoping that he would be able to beat this. Y'all, he was strong, and I thought between the two of us that we could pull him out of this. It was our 3-month anniversary when things really took a turn for the worse. On my way home from work, I stopped off and bought a bouquet of peonies. That's my husband's favorite. When I walked in the door, I expected to find him in the bathroom, getting ready to go out for dinner, but instead, I found him in our bedroom. He had got all dressed up nice and had this beautiful green suit that really brought out his eyes, but as I got closer to him, I noticed the dried tears on his face, and surrounding him on the bed were all the letters from his family. Since that day, he hasn't left the house. His friends have called me, concerned that he hadn't replied to their texts and even answered his phone. Everyone is so worried about him. I bring home peonies almost every day. The florist told me that I was putting his kids through private school. All I can smell in our house is peonies. Listen, I desperately need y'all help, guys. Like, for real. I need you to help me to get Australia to change their laws, okay? Like, I need you to make gay marriage legal. I need to be my husband's next of kin, and I need that shit now. Once it's legal, I can file our papers. Once it's legal, I can officially be his husband. Once it's legal, I can finally get him out the house. He barely looks like my husband anymore. For the past 4 months, I've laid next to him every night, praying that when I can finally tell someone what's been going on, that he'll be treated the way he deserves and that I can be there with him through it all. I need y'all to make gay marriage legal so that I can make all the arrangements and so his hateful family can never, ever hurt him again. And I really, really, really need it soon, though. He's really starting to decompose and the peonies won't cover the smell forever. Please.